Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to determine the inverse of rational function, and this is the fifth part. I will put the link of the first, second, third, and fourth part in the description box below. Let's take this first example right here. Find the inverse of this function f of x is equal to 4x plus 3 over 5x minus 2. There are three steps that we need to follow in order that we can solve for the inverse of any function. The first step is to replace f of x with y. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this. Okay, so once we've set it up, we've changed the f of x to y. That's the first step. The second step is to replace every x with y and replace every y with x and solve for y. So in this case right here, this y will become an x and these two x's will become a y. So I can rewrite it this way. Okay, so we are going to isolate y by itself. That's part of the second step. So in this example that we have here, I'm going to show you the undoing division method. So we can go ahead and multiply both sides by whatever is the denominator here. That would be 5y minus 2. Okay, so what I did was I multiplied 5y minus 2 because I want to undo the division. So then I can go ahead and cross these two out. So then I am left with... Okay, so then I can go ahead and distribute the x to both terms inside the parentheses. So then if we do that, we can go ahead and multiply 5y times x that's going to be 5xy minus negative 2 times x is 2x, and that is equal to 4y plus 3. And then I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite that up here. Okay, now part of the second step is to isolate y by itself. Since there are y's on both sides of the equation, I can go ahead and subtract 4y from both sides. So I have all the y's on the left side. So then this would come out. We can cross this out first. So that is 5xy minus 2x minus 4y is equal to 3. Again, we want to isolate y by itself. Since we have a term that doesn't have a y here, so I can go ahead and add 2x from both sides. So that's plus 2x. So then this would come out. That's 5xy minus 4y is equal to 2x plus 3. And I want to isolate y by itself. I can factor out the y, or I can use the distributive property backwards. I put the y outside the parentheses. So that would be 5x that are right here. So that if I distribute the y to 5x, so y times 5x is 5xy. And that would be a minus 4. Because we have a y times negative 4 is negative 4y. So I factored out the y. So then that would be equal to 2x plus 3. And then from here, I go ahead and isolate the y by itself again. We are going to divide both sides by 5x minus 4. Divide this by 5x minus 4 so I can cross this out. I am now left with y. That is part of the second step. We isolate y by itself. So then that would be equal to 2x plus 3 over 5x minus 4. So then we're ready to move on to the third step. So I'm just going to show that up here. The third step is to replace the y of the equation solved in step 2 with f negative 1 of x. So this can come out f negative 1 of x is equal to, that's 2x plus 3 over 5x minus 4. And this is the inverse of this function right here. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. Again, the first step is to replace f of x with y. So I can go ahead and rewrite this as... Okay, now after we replaced f of x with y, we're ready to move on to the second step. The second step is to replace every x with y and replace every y with x and solve for y. So pretty much this y will become an x and these two x's will become a y. So I can go ahead and rewrite this as... So after we're done with this, we can go ahead and isolate y by itself. Now, please remember that in this example, I'm going to show you the cross multiplication method. In the first example that I give you, we were using the undoing division. So we multiplied both sides by whatever the denominator is. Now, in this problem right here, we're going to use cross multiplication. Now, others are going to say, which method are we going to use? It doesn't really matter. Both methods are just the same. They would come up the same answer. So please remember that this x is an invisible denominator of 1. So then we can go ahead and cross multiply these two and these two. So then we can go ahead and rewrite this as okay, so what I did was I paired it up. The x will be multiplied by 5y plus 4. And then the 1 will be multiplied by 7y minus 1. So then I can go ahead and distribute the x here. Okay, so if we distribute the x to the 5y, so this would come out 5xy plus x times 4 is 4x is equal to 1 times 7y is 7y minus 1. So then again, our target here is to isolate y by itself. So I can go ahead and, since y is on both sides of the equation, so I can go ahead and put all the y's in one side of the equation. So then I can go ahead and subtract 7y from both sides minus 7y. So then I am left with, we can cross this out, so that would be 5xy plus 4x minus 7y is equal to negative 1. Again, our target is to isolate the y. So I'm just going to rewrite that up here. Since there is a term here that doesn't have a y, so I can go ahead and subtract 4x from both sides. So minus 4x and minus 4x. So then this would come out 5xy minus 7y is equal to negative 4x minus 1. Now notice this is not negative 5x, because again, these two are unlike terms. That means we can't combine them together, but we can write them as separate terms, negative 4x minus 1. So then from here, we will factor out the y, or again, we can use the distributive backwards to solve for y. So I can go ahead and factor out the y. So that would be 5x. So y times 5x is 5xy, and that's a minus 7, because you have a y times negative 7 is negative 7y, and that is equal to negative 4x minus 1. Since I want y by itself, so then we can go ahead and divide both sides by 5x minus 7. Divide this by 5x minus 7, so I can cross this out. We are left with y is equal to, that's negative 4x minus 1 over 5x minus 7. So after we have this set up, we're ready to move on to the third step. Replace the y of the equation solved in step 2 with f negative 1 of x, which is the notation for inverse. So I can go ahead and rewrite this as f negative 1 of x is equal to negative 4x minus 1 over 5x minus 7. And this is the inverse of this function up here. Did you get the same answer as this? Good. Perfect. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!